It's time for all your binge-worthy pop culture news. Welcome to Up and Adam.
Hi, guys. Welcome back and happy Thursday, which means happy Real Housewives of Beverly Hills and now officially Salt Lake City recap day. I can't wait to jump into all of this, but before we do, we have a couple big announcements. As you can see in the banner that's moving across the bottom of the screen, we've been talking about it for a month and now it's finally here. Tomorrow, Hot Messy Podcast drops officially the first episode, and I can't wait for you guys to hear because it's such an unfiltered conversation, nothing like what we do on YouTube, and we have so many fun, amazing guests, always ending off with a good bitch session. So you guys are really going to enjoy it. If you haven't already, go to the link that's pinned in the live chat, click on Hot Messy Podcast, and make sure you go vote in the poll. Get subscribed, smash that like button. Now, before we get started, 100 in the room already, I wanted to just share this because we got an amazing gift from one of our subscribers, and I just have to shout her out really quick. She has this company called Spanglish Asadero, and she sent us these spices, which are really great, and they're super affordable. And the thing is, I was explaining to her, because she, is great at what she does. She cooks, and she's a food blogger. I was explaining to her that I can't cook. So she sent us this incredible box with all of these different spices, and I can't wait to use them and learn how to cook. A chili limon. We also have a citrus spice, and the packaging is so cool. I'm like shaking right now. I'm excited though. So Spanglish Asadero. Make sure you just go support because, of course, if someone has a business and they're trying to launch it, and if you guys have a business that you're trying to launch and you want us to just shout you out, we would love to. The Addams family has been so incredible to us, so we want to do the same for you guys. Now with that, let's welcome Jason.
Hi, happy Thursday, everyone.
Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday.
Norma
wow,
said,
we got
oh my God, looks so
much.
Good.
It does look so good, and the packaging is so fun. We were talking about that last night. I love it. I can't wait to try to cook with it. I think that's going to be the biggest issue. The biggest hurdle we'll have to do is cooking with it.
And digging the scruff. Thanks, guys. Everybody, too, by the way, everyone keeps asking why the sunglasses, Adam. Tomorrow, our first episode of the podcast again is dropping, and I will explain everything. Right now, I'm not doing it to be some douchebag or act like I'm cool as shit or too cool for school. I'm just covering up my face, and there's a reason for it. So thank you for bearing with us. I promise I'm not being an asshole. Now,
no, and listen, this is a long live. It's not one of the 8-minute or 10-minute pre-records you put up. So at any time you need to go off, because I know it's all that light and stuff going into your eyes is not great right now.
Yeah. So let's jump right in.
Let's start off though. Listen, we're down in Florida, and as you can see behind me, it's beautiful out. That is not the case in so much of Florida right now. So our thoughts and prayers go out to so many people affected by the hurricane that passed through yesterday, last night. It's so devastating to watch, and somehow, where we live just did not get touched at all. And the whole state was affected. So we're really very, very lucky. But so sad to see just all that devastation, like Causeway bridges down on the West Coast, and
Fort Myers.
They are still trying to find people. We just had a friend lose a home in Fort Myers. So it's serious. It's something that you deal with living in one of these areas, just like if you lived in California and you deal with the fires. It's living in, anywhere from Louisiana and the Panhandle to Texas to Florida.
It's so sad too to think about like the people who are missing, the animals that were affected.
Animals, yeah.
Yeah. The lights went out here, and we went in the elevator this morning, and somebody had a letter posted up saying that when she opened the door last night and the lights went out, her cat got freaked out, so ran out into the hallway, and now she can't find her cat. And I'm like, this is just absolutely devastating. And then you see footage, and people are like kind of making a joke about it, like hurricane party, and there's sharks swimming in the streets, and it's like, this is not really anything to celebrate. It's actually people are losing their lives, their animals, their homes. It's extremely devastating. But
it's crazy, the sharks swimming in the streets. You and your mom told me about that yesterday at dinner, and I was like, what are you talking about? And then how many sharks did we see swimming in streets last night? God, it's crazy.
All right.
Well, bless everyone going through that. Speaking of hurricanes, we got to dive into this recap of Beverly Hills.
Yes. Someone just said, forget about Hurricane Ian. I want to talk about Hurricane Hilton. Okay. So we're going to talk about the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills because I was almost positive that this episode was going to be left off as a cliffhanger with Kathy Hilton and Lisa Rinna and Kyle Richards getting into this discussion, but from that discussion sort of just getting cut off. And then they say next week on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. And that wasn't the case. We actually got the discussion. I thought it was uncomfortable. I thought that I think it's a total smear campaign, and I'm not quite understanding. But Jason, where do you want to kick this off?
Let's kick off. I just want to kind of give some, this is how I feel about it. I'm not biased. We're not paid by Kathy Hilton. I like Kathy Hilton. I actually like Lisa Rinna. I know I hate saying that. But we start off by last episode. There was a moment. Let me see. I think we have. Yes, thank you. That was the photo with Erica talking to Dorit and saying, we've never seen Kathy like this. And I'm thinking to myself, when did you meet Kathy?
Right.
Because it was such a big deal when you met Kathy, one season ago? And now you've never seen Kathy like this. She's never been, you know what I mean? It just seems like, what are you trying to say? I'm not really sure. It seems like you're playing along with the whole Rinna thing. It's...
Well, and what I don't necessarily understand is when everyone was invited to Paris Hilton's engagement party, when, Eric was sitting there crying about like, please tell Paris, I'm sorry I couldn't make it. And Kathy was really probably thinking in her head, Paris doesn't care if you made it or not. Paris, I invited you because I invited most of my friends. If you guys didn't watch Paris in Love on Peacock, well, I enjoyed it. Jason didn't.
I didn't like it. No.
Yeah. But you see where Paris is like, oh my God, my mom is inviting all of her friends and I don't really have a whole lot of room for my friends. So I think that would have been a sympathy invite anyways, or just trying to keep peace amongst the group. Paris Hilton does not care about Erica Girardi. And I do want to say, it's like, oh, we've never seen her like this. Like you said, you don't know her.
You don't know her.
And
really, we just met her. You were so excited to go to her house for dinner. Like this, who are you to say we've never seen her like this? That's where it kind of like, I think in my head, and we talk about this on the podcast next Tuesday with Brian Bailey. We kind of dissect Real Housewives of Beverly Hills with Lisa Rinna. Is she a credible narrator? Is she a source that you believe? Like with her past history of the Munchausen's thing, her violent actions against Kim, throwing glasses on a table. How do we believe what she's saying? She has more of a history of being the way she described Kathy than anything else. And
Lisa
also,
Rinna has more victims. There's more victims of Lisa Rinna than there are of Erica Girardi. Well,
okay.
The Girardis. You know what I mean? Like if you go down the line, you have Lisa Vanderpump accused of selling stories to Radar Online, when in fact, I don't think that Lisa Rinna sells stories, but she definitely leaks them. And then you have Yolanda, who she sat there and just made a complete mockery out of her Lyme disease. You have Kim Richards, who was almost grabbed by the throat with a glass slammed down and then said that she was near death while she was navigating her sobriety. You have Denise Richards, who Lisa Rinna was adamant about getting this alleged affair out there. I mean, now you have, Kathy Hilton, who Kathy apologized. That's the part I don't get. They're sisters. They worked it out. They apologized. And as she's trying to talk and she's like, listen, I said some unkind things and I apologized and I said them out of frustration. Maybe it was the altitude. Maybe it was too much wine. Maybe I was just tired because there was a lot happening.
The thing is, what I'm kind of getting from it too, is because a lot of what Lisa was saying too happened in the room.
Right.
And so I don't think a lot happened in the Sprinter van. I think like more of something happened in the room. There were no cameras there. And she gets to kind of just tell her perspective, which is a little distorted at the moment. We really can't, she tells the story changes so much. Remember that there was a homophobic slur or that she made a racist comment. None of this turned out to be true. Basically what it was is Kathy said some shit about Kyle that she regretted because probably that whole day, of drinking and Kyle didn't stand up for Kathy at the tequila thing.
She was frustrated.
Kyle didn't even stand up for Kathy in front of Lisa Rinna at the end of this episode when Lisa was berating Kathy after the apology had already been given to Kyle. So she said something, she apologized. It's between the sisters, it's between the family. Butt out, Lisa. Butt out.
Ebony Dix made a good point. Kathy apologized and said, I'm sorry 8 times. The thing is too, Lisa Rinna is so adamant about having Kathy talk about what she said. She's like, you said something about all of these girls in this group. Well, you guys literally co-signed Sutton Strack being called a see you next Tuesday. Erica almost ripped her face off at Kathy Hilton's dinner. Lisa Rinna said, I will end you, like freaking out. you guys have all said things about each other that probably haven't been the most kind. And I think that's Kathy's point is, yes, did I say some things? I did. And it was out of frustration. And maybe they weren't the most kind things, but you
the
have
hypocrisy from these ladies is worse than American politics. It is so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. Kathy was not defensive. If you're guilty of something, you kind of get defensive. She doesn't have any care in the world. She's like, I said some shit. I think she's more worried about her relationship with Kyle, the things she said about Kyle, and you know, kind of mending that relationship than she is defending herself to Lisa Rinna.
Right. Amy L., thank you so much for the super chat. We appreciate you. I want to read some of these. Minnow says, honestly, they are trying to take her down, and it's obvious. The whole world is seeing through the lies of Brenna. Go, Kathy. Adam looking fine as ever. Hey, thank you. Kyle didn't consider Kathy's feelings at all and took no accountability for her actions in Aspen. You know, my whole thing is to, and nobody really understood this. Guys, 400 in the room, smash that like button. What we didn't really understand was the fact, why did Lisa Rinna need to be there to referee? And I saw where Monica from All About the Tea went on and posted that this was a total setup by Kyle in production, having Lisa Rinna come in. And I don't think that Kathy, I don't honestly believe she was aware. She could have been aware, and she probably just thought, listen, I just want to get this over with, put it behind us, and then just put it on the table. And she didn't think that Rinna was going to come with a hidden agenda. And when she did come, one, I didn't understand it, because this was a conversation that needed to be had between Kathy and Kyle. And two, I'm not buying this PTSD that you have over her saying some wild things and then she threw her glasses on the ground allegedly and stomped on them.
She's so, and I hate to say this because I said this before, I like Lisa Rinna. I just don't like her on Beverly Hills. And I got so much shit for saying I like Lisa Rinna last week. But here's the thing. She has no compassion. You know, even Kathy sharing that she has a friend dying of cancer. Your mom just passed, all right? You didn't have compassion for Lisa Vanderpump's brother's passing. There was no compassion for anything. She is just proving herself to have a really dark heart and really just trying to produce her way through the show because obviously she has no storyline.
When she said that about and this is the part where Kyle should have interjected. Here's the thing. I fight with my brothers. I fight with my sisters. We have conversations. Gosh, if you guys could be a fly on the wall for our Thanksgivings.
My God.
It's just, it's like terrible.
My family too. It's every family.
It's every family. And it starts off really good. And by the end of the trip, the 3 days together, we're all ripping each other's heads off. And just we have tons of differences of opinions, right? So in this moment, when Rinna is looking at Kathy and she's like, Kathy, I think you need to seek help. Yeah, Lisa Rinna, you probably do too. And
you had a bag of pills. Like, what are you talking about seeking help?
When she said you have a black heart, she said you have a black heart. At that moment, if I'm fighting with my brothers and sisters and you want to sit there and say something, I'm interjecting. Because I can fight with my brothers and sisters all day. But if you are over here and you're supposed to be a friend of mine and you're looking at my sister and you're saying, you have a black heart, you need help, you need that, I would be like, who the okay, enough. Get out. Right now, this isn't helping. It's not contributing anything to the conversation. It's not conducive to mending anything. So
does Kyle know still? I want to ask Kyle, Kyle, what exactly did Kathy say? What did Kathy say?
Right.
Did Kathy tell you what she said? Or did she just say, I spoke ill of you? Because she's going to get one story from Lisa. I don't know. I just think it's Kyle even bothered me here.
Yeah.
Accept the apology, move on.
Or don't.
But stand up for your sister. You didn't do it in Aspen, and you're not doing it with Lisa. It's like insane.
It makes me wonder if there's something that Lisa Rinna knows about Kyle Richards and Kyle's not trying to go against Lisa Rinna. That's like the vibe it's giving me. You know what I mean? I want to read this really quick because we have our resident body language expert, Norma Montanano, which, by the way, she posted a thing for National Sunday. I believe it was yesterday. Her family, she has like the prettiest family ever. Lisa's body language was closed off. She wasn't really hearing Kathy. She came to accuse Kathy. I agree.
Yeah.
She didn't take in the apology. She berated Kathy at Kyle's, just like she did in the van and Kyle's home. And I think that's exactly... Lisa Rinna came with an agenda. She knew, she braced herself, and she's like, oof. She probably chugged down some of the non-existent Lisa Rinna rosé, and she was like, I'm going to go into this, and I'm going to, honestly, this is the takedown. This is the moment I've been waiting for.
This is the moment where I'm going to put words in your mouth. I'm
Yeah.
going to ask you what triggered you. I'm going to use those kind of manipulative techniques to piss you off, to make you mad, to make you get defensive so it looks like you're guilty. I'm so glad that Kathy didn't fall for any of that, because it's plainly obvious what she was trying to do.
It was such a bait situation. Hillary Miles said, one question: why did Rinna text Erica and not Kyle? Kyle get home stat. I'm really worried about her. Complete BS. And
listen,
what I love about this, about Kathy keeping her composure, is it just speaks volumes. Again, do I think that she said stuff? She admitted she said stuff out of frustration. I don't think that there's anyone in this chat that has never, and I'm not like defending anything. I just think that this whole situation is wrong because of how far Rinna has taken it. But I don't think anyone in this chat can say that they've never said one negative thing about someone around them, whether it was in school, your family, your friends, your business colleagues, doesn't matter. With this situation, Rinna sat there and she said, you need help. You have a black heart. She did everything to sit there and bait her to get a reaction. And Kathy just said, listen, you can be unkind too. You know what? I'm done with this. I've apologized. And she got up and walked away. Then pan over, the season's already done filming. Just to go back, all of the cast members were at the VMAs because they were presenting an award together. And she was asked again, Kathy, what do you think about Lisa Rinna? And she's like, I think that I don't see her in passing. I don't have a lot to say about her, but I think the reason that she said the things and told Kyle what I said was because she loves both of us and she just wanted to help us mend, our relationship, which is a very classy thing to say because my choice of words would have been completely different.
Yeah. No,
she knows
100%.
eyes are on her though.
Yeah. It was a very, definitely Kathy took the high road in this situation, but just the pushing that came from Lisa just made it more and more apparent of what is actually going on.
Right. And I want to bring this up really quick too. Alabama Camper said, even if I thought my sister was in the wrong, I would never allow Lisa to say she has a black heart. Kyle should have set her in her place. And also Janet Barrett said, our Thanksgivings were not that bad.
Yes, Mom, they were. They were.
But I want to pan over really quick. Let's get back to a different conversation because Erica looks very different without her glam, but I guess
okay. I cannot believe I'm going to say this. I don't know what's going on with Erica this episode. I really loved this moment with her. I applaud her for letting us see her without glam and finally showing some vulnerability. Like
We've
really
seen her without glam before.
No, I know, but this was just, this was very without glam, right?
Yes,
but she was so vulnerable in this moment, and this was nice to see. And this is the Erica I've been waiting to see. For 51, she looks not bad. At 51, 52, I don't know how old she is.
51. No, she 51. Looks good you can't, I don't want to sit there and trash anyone's looks. I think that Erica's a beautiful woman on the outside.
No, she looks good. I also feel like Erica's situation, just listening to her talk about Tom a little more, was very like Hugh Hefner, Holly Madison, like situation. It's very apparent, but this is the best scene of Erica we've seen this season. I also found it interesting that now Sutton, who last season was so opposite of Erica, is probably the one getting through to her the most about sharing and showing compassion.
Right.
And I thought that was so interesting. And I also find it interesting that Erica's moving away a little bit from like Lisa or the faux force. What are they? 3, 4 now? I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, she kind of is.
She's moving away from that a little bit because I think, and this is total conspiracy, I don't think Lisa Rinna is coming back next season, but I think we might get Erica, and she's trying to work her way into a different circle.
Right.
That could be just completely speculation, but
I mean, I kind of agree. The way that it's edited is to make it look like that. But Susan D said, I felt compassion for Erica at this moment. I even DM'd her saying we need to see more of this vulnerability. And I think here's the thing. She's saying when she was talking about her husband and how when he was great, he was great. And then when he, was a monster, he was a monster. And they showed back the clips and we all cringed during those clips where he's like, excuse me, Erica, I'm talking. And it's like, oh, red flags, like really bad.
Red flags, verbally abusive, red flags.
When she says she was a victim, she's like, I am too also a victim. It makes you wonder, like, how do you feel about this? Because I would look at her more as a victim of her marriage and her husband's misdoings if she also acknowledged, like, if you want us to acknowledge you as a victim, then we want you to acknowledge that there are actual victims, right?
Yeah, and
then
don't
that could,
fuss about earrings, and don't, do something.
right.
Do something. If
Because
you were a victim, imagine how the other ones feel who had real issues.
right, like the Ruy Gomez family, or Joseph Ruy Gomez, who 90% of his body is burned. Like that, like there are real victims. And no, Tom Girardi didn't burn him, but the money could have set him up for the rest of his life because he can't operate the same. So there are actual victims out there. And I think a lot of people would have a lot more compassion or show more empathy to Erica if she acknowledged those victims. We will acknowledge that you were a victim of your marriage if you acknowledge that they are also victims,
Yeah, and then also too, getting to know more about what you didn't know is also helpful. I know there's not a lot she can legally say at the moment because she's so tied up in so many things, but this was the first moment I really did turn my head to Erica, and I was like, I like this person. I like this person eating Popeyes with Sutton. I like this person showing us, the work she's doing with therapy. Like, I like this person. It's different. It's a different person.
Nicole said,
What was
do we
her
remember the
tagline?
moment that she had that outburst in Vegas saying, you don't know what I go through at home? I mean, yeah, I feel like there was, but also sometimes when you get in, situations that are like convenient and you have this totally new lifestyle and you know that you get to fly private and you're getting the diamonds and, this man is older than you and he has that sort of financial power. You dealt with it for 20 years. You knew what he was like, but you also had that life that you wanted and you didn't want to give up that life. So at some point you have to also take accountability for staying in that relationship. Now, Quentin Dean also said, when Rinna said Kathy is jealous of the Kardashians, girl, bye. Kathy gave birth to Paris Hilton, who gave Kim the blueprint. LOL. That's another thing is like, she's trying so hard. She's like, Kathy's so jealous of the Kardashians. My good friend, Kardashian Jenner tequila. It's not a Kardashian Jenner tequila. It's Kendall Jenner.
It's just Kendall Jenner's tequila.
Right.
Or Kris Jenner's. Who knows?
And Kendall Jenner probably has no idea who Lisa Rinna is. And Kathy Hilton, like there's clips going back. If you see Paris in Love, like go back and watch on Peacock, where Kathy's hanging out with Faye Resnick and Kris Jenner, where Kris Jenner was invited to Paris's wedding, where Kris Jenner goes out on vacations with Kathy Hilton. Just like she's friends with Kyle Richards, she's friends with Kathy Hilton. I don't think that there's any sort of jealousy there. I think it's just like, oh, okay, you're a very successful family. Like they rub elbows with all of the successful families when they were talking about the Reagans. And you know what I mean? It's like, you can't just be in this upper echelon and just be jealous of everyone. If that's the theory, I think it's ridiculous. Maybe Lisa Rinna is jealous of Kathy Hilton.
I found it interesting too that, at Erica's pop-up thing, by the way, these product parties that we're doing on Beverly Hills, do better. Okay. There's like from Lisa Rinna's, whatever lips thing to the that was a tasting, the Rinna Rosé thing, but you don't rent a space, have 4 drinks and fries and call it a pop-up. It's not a pop-up. This is just for cameras. We get it. But when they were at this little party, Diana admitted to knowing the game. And she said something to the fact that, Kathy knows the game and I know the game. You always tip to get at the better table she by herself is making herself look horrible right now.
Right.
Diana, with all her accusations against her, sitting there saying how she knows the game. What game exactly are we talking about? What game?
Nikki H married a Rothschild, not a Scott Disick. Norma, the shade. Thank you for the super chat. Ebony Dick said Kathy, who is a friend of the show, reconstructed her contract, less camera time than Diana, main cast member, and is a fan favorite after a nasty meltdown. Winner. I agree, Ebony. And I wanted to bring something up because I want to ask you guys, 600 in the room. I honestly want your real opinion. See, I'm not the kind of person who goes out and buys extensions. I actually used to joke with my stepsister all the time if she would. And this is so mean, and I'm sorry, but like when my stepsister, my 2 stepsisters and my stepbrother and I would drive to school in the mornings when we were in high school together. And when we would, my stepsister was just in this phase where she was just kind of nasty and hard to be around. I love her now. Like I've always loved her. We're best friends, but she was, too cool for school. And I remember when she would put in her clip-in hair extensions and she'd be like, bro, you. And she's like, I'm going into class. And I would watch her walk away with the clips hanging out. And I'd be like,
no,
bye.
This is a no.
Go to class. But I want to ask.
I'm
This is
sure
for
it's made by the
USA.
same company hers that Erica's are made by.
Are these fair priced extensions?
I can't even see the price. What does it say?
572, 600, 600, 600, 584, and 600.
So a car payment, a mortgage, rent, groceries. Yeah, they're expensive.
Are they? Or
I
is
mean,
that
I don't
like what
know. I
people
don't
pay
know.
for extensions?
Listen, I have friends who pay for hair, and it has to be a certain kind of hair, and it has to come from this place. But I don't remember, because one time I was on tour with Cirque du Soleil, and the singer was like, "Are you going back to the States? I need you to get me some hair." And I was like, "Okay." She's like, "You have to go to this store. It has to be from this place. It has to be made here." And I was like, "Okay." And I don't remember it costing me $500, and she looked amazing.
Right.
I don't
Mike,
know.
thank you so much for the super chat. We were
Hey,
supposed to
thanks,
hang out-
Mike.
We were supposed to hang out with Mike in Florida, but it never happened. Next time.
Next time. Next time.
They're probably $15 on Amazon. I have the extensions. Okay, T, if you have the extensions, how are they? I'm curious. It really depends on how many grams of hair you get. Somebody said
That's
no.
true too.
I'm in tears. Y'all pulled up the website. I love it here. Why is her brand giving me She by Sheree? Saw something online saying that they were made by the same manufacturer as a very cheap brand.
Yeah.
I don't know.
A lot of the housewives do this with their brands. Like we've seen it again and again. It's like they slap a label on something cheap. You know, it's
Well, T said she loves them, so that's good.
okay. Hey, listen, that's who knows.
Honestly, if it's a good product and she's making money off of it, hey, I'm not. That's the thing is, I don't want to sit there and tear apart. I always say this when I do my videos about Erica, because there's most of the time it's negative, but when there is positive, and she does, she got taken out of a lawsuit because there wasn't enough evidence. I like to talk about the positive too, because I don't want to just make it a smear campaign. Like, I'm not Lisa Rinna going after Kathy Hilton. I think for Erica, if these are a win and she's making money and people like the quality of the hair, then good for you. You came out with something in a really bad time. That's awesome. And then
yeah, this is a good comment. It's about normal. Okay.
No, that is about normal for extensions. I actually pay $900 for a head of hair for 9 ounces. That's not high, but I wouldn't give it to her. Okay. I mean, that's the thing too. If you maybe exercise some more compassion, maybe people would want to buy your products. That's, Lit Real Red, thank you so much for the super chat. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Johnny Tsunami said, I pay $400 and up for 3 bundles and another $280 for install. Portia's hair is amazing. I would actually try these.
Oh.
And Alabama Camper said, unless that money is going to the victims, then I'd go somewhere else.
Yikes. Listen, women go through a lot.
Yeah.
Really, with hair, with menstrual cycles, with giving birth, I give props to women. Like, legit.
Yeah.
We get like a haircut for like $40. Like, that's it.
I pay $25. I'm cheap.
Where the hell do you go? And
I don't go to the same places you go because I don't want to pay $40. Okay. So let's get back to it really quick. I wanted to bring this up too, because we're going to start now that we are launching the podcast. Guys, 666 in the room. We need somebody to drop out or somebody to come in, because that's not a good number, especially when I'm bringing 670. Hey, thanks. I love doing the community polls for you guys on our channel, and we always get thousands of votes, and they're always so much fun. But on Hot Messy Podcast, make sure you guys go subscribe. Hot Messy Podcast, over 10,000 subscribers. You can go, and Jason's going to start doing image polls, and I just want to see what your thoughts are. So make sure you go subscribe and vote. Do you think Lisa Rinna is a reliable narrator on The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills?
Well, that pertains to the episode. I mean, our podcast is not very Bravo forward, if at all. However, we did have an episode with Ryan Bailey that is coming up next Tuesday, October 4th, the day before Real Housewives of Beverly Hills airs again. And we do dissect the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, what our dream cast would be, why some cast members would work and some wouldn't. Ryan also brought up a very good point of Lisa not being a very credible narrator. To be telling these stories to everyone else. She always leaves with the person who's leaving the party, and then she makes shit up. It's a great listen. So definitely go ahead and check it out.
Yeah. And I also I saw where a lot of people, and I don't think that this is necessarily fair, because I always felt like this was true. They're talking, when they were talking at this Pretty Mess hair situation, Lisa Rinna said, oh yeah, I got this. I rented it. And Dorit's kind of looking, and her eyes got real big, like, you're renting it. And it makes you kind of wonder, Dorit, do you rent your clothes? But I don't think that's a bad thing. I know some of the people from Vanderpump Rules, they also do that sort of rent situation where they have new fashions and they don't have to wear the same thing twice. And it comes in, you wear it, you have it tailored to your size, or it comes in.
My hosts, when I used to run Pump, my hosts would do like a rent thing where every weekend they would have like new like dresses to wear. Right. They were so like on top of it.
I think I don't think I think it's more crazy to spend $10,000 on a dress. And we've also seen, I don't want to take this away from Lisa Rinna, because we know that her garage is her closet and that she has all of those vintage dresses. No, she does. She stores.
No, I know.
Yeah, she stores
her garage is her closet.
In her closet, which is her garage. I think she's moved them since Dorit was robbed. But she has, lots of gowns that are worth tens of thousands of dollars. So that's, hey, 700 in the room. Hit that like button. Let's get to 500. Like archive.
Listen, I have two more things to archive. Yeah, that's exactly where they're running. I'd probably rent there if it was spelled correctly. But why are we trying to force Cherie in every episode? I don't think this is ever going to work for some reason. I really wanted Cherie on the show. I know you want Cherie to have a diamond, but
no, I changed my mind.
It doesn't click. There's nothing clicking. There's no chemistry. And I think that's why we're not seeing a lot of her.
I've changed my mind saying that I want her to be full-time. I think that she complements the cast. Like, here's the thing. Diana came on automatically not liking Sutton because Lisa Rinna had already kind of coaxed her into what the dynamics were, the situations. And Diana came on with very strong opinions about Sutton. I didn't like that because now you're being swayed. You're not forming an opinion for yourself. Noella Bergner was a fan of the show. She came on with really strong opinions and trying to pre-produce. I didn't like that. Cherie is coming on as Garcelle's friend. And if you watch her in interviews, she talks about how she is really impressed by Erica. She has a great friendship with Erica and Lisa Rinna and Kyle Richards, and she's gotten to know them and she's seen a softer side. She's forming her own opinions, and that's something that I can appreciate about her, and that's why I like having her around.
I agree. I just don't think it's clicking. I mean, with Diana, there's a lot of, thank you, Natalia.
Thank you, Natalia.
It was weird when Kathy and Kyle should spend more time with family.
Kathy said Kyle.
Said Kyle. Sorry. My mind is like not working today. It was weird when Kathy said Kyle should spend more time with family, and she said she spends time with her husband and kids. Is Kathy not family?
What is going on with you today?
I'm so tired. Like, I'm legit. Okay. Every time we get on here, I feel like I just woke up.
Yeah,
we have such a long day of recording too.
But yeah. No.
I find it interesting, just talking about Diana too. It's I don't know who she's trying to portray herself as, and that's something I wanted to like her at the beginning, but it just comes off as very pretentious. And this flex of knowing Elton John is just
my gosh,
it's too much for me. Let's talk about. Is there a photo of that?
Oh, yeah, the convenient FaceTime.
This convenient FaceTime during the party. This flex. And this, it's just so funny. We both collect China. Let me tell you a story. So Lisa Vanderpump and Ken Todd owned a gay club in London called Shadow Lounge. Elton John and David Furnish always hung out with them there. Have you ever heard of Lisa Vanderpump talk about knowing Elton John or anyone else she knows? Lady Gaga was a frequent visitor at Pump and some of the other,
Lady
restaurants.
Gaga loves LVP.
Yeah. But where... She didn't have to do that. Also, Lisa Vanderpump, and I know I'm talking about her a little bit, but she would never do a party like that hair extension party. Like never.
No, it would be at Villa Rosa. There would be swans and rose petals in the pool. It would have a big flower arrangement look. But
it's pretentious and it kind of seems desperate. I have nothing else to offer other than I'm rich. I have a young thing. Well, boyfriend, husband, they're not married, right?
They're married.
Oh, shit. I have a young husband. I know Elton John. I've designed all my houses in Fendi and Gucci. Like, what? Okay, girl, we get it.
Right.
It just comes off very, what is the right word
who
for
said
Diana?
I forgot who it said. Who said it? Money talks and wealth whispers.
Yes. I mean,
yeah,
it's true.
I forgot who said that, but yes.
I love wealth, or not even wealth. I do love wealth. No, I love wealth when it's subtle. We know you're rich. We know Kathy's rich, but she's half the time in like pajamas. We know Lisa Vanderpump's rich. She doesn't have to sit there and tell you about it. Caroline Stanberry would call it new money.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Unrelatable too. And you know what's so funny? It's what
sometimes I can't even understand her when she talks too.
I think it's listen.
I think what?
Okay. I think what's funny here too is when
left that in there. Sorry.
We're sitting there saying that Kathy is so jealous of the Kardashians and all of these people, and that, you know, Kyle is so much more successful and she is more famous. She's more this. She has the life that Kathy can't have. Kathy's showing up, filming in the same outfits, the same p-shirt. She shows up with hotel slippers that she's wearing through the airport, and then she's out here just for fun on the weekend building a $55 million home for something to do because she wants to pick her own finishes. So what are we talking about here? You know, like, I'm pretty sure Kyle is not out and just saying like, hey, Mo, you know, like, since Halloween, I filmed Halloween and we have 2 months off of filming The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. I think I'm going to build a $55 million mansion, right? No. There's a difference. And I don't think if you see Kathy...
She need to do a few more Halloweens, I think.
Right. But Kathy's also... And Kathy slept on a bunk bed. Thank you, Ebony. But Kathy also is not shoving wealth in anyone's face. It's just subtle things that you know, like caviar and a potato. It's something that she enjoys. Or her Christmas tree that's done up and it's very Kathy Hilton. You know, it's just, it's different. I don't know.
You know what? I would have... Now that I think about it, if I had a sister, which I do, and she invited me to Aspen in her brand new house, beautiful house, and she puts all of these bitches in nice rooms and puts me downstairs in the bunk bed, I'm gonna probably talk shit about you too.
A bitch is a female dog, not a person.
No, well, they deserve those rooms more than those ladies who got the rooms.
Okay, well, I also agree with that. I think that my family member would have got, I mean, Erica and Rinna would have got the bunk beds.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't understand.
There was four. All the four should have been in there. Kyle should have slept in there. Dorit should have slept in there. Lisa and Erica, they should have slept in there. And then FaceTime Teddy. It would have been amazing. A great slumber party.
God. Okay. She doesn't have to say it when we all know it. What else do we have? Love how Erica assured Diana that Kathy married into money. I mean, Dorinda said money speaks, wealth whispers. Yes.
Dorinda. Leave it to Dorinda.
Leave it to Dorinda. All right. For Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Jason, is there anything that we missed?
No, I just want to see where this is going to go, you know, by the end of the season. Like, how is this conflict going to end? Because it's still playing out on social media. So,
right.
Be interesting.
Gosh. Okay.
At this moment,
I just can't wait to see.
You're not up for an award.
I can't wait to see the reunion. I love seeing on Twitter. It's actually... At first, I thought it was so annoying, and I'm like, I'm not invested into this enough to be annoyed by some of the stupid tweets that are out there. But when people go so hard, I'm like, and maybe it sounds like I'm going hard for Kathy a little bit. So
no,
maybe I'm
you know what the difference is? The difference is to me, I don't care. I don't, you know, if Erica can sway me, let her sway me. It's fine.
Yeah.
You know, I like Lisa Rinna off the show. I've said that multiple times. However, it's plainly obvious what is happening. It's so produced. It's so it just is a takedown. It's a smear campaign, like you said. And that's how I feel. That is my perspective from watching it.
All right. JC said, hey, Adam, give Real Girlfriends in Paris a break. I really like the show. It's just getting started. I didn't say anything.
I don't. That was me.
Oh, I just said that the ratings are bad.
I watched 2 episodes and I just found it. I don't see it coming back.
Mike said, funny because Zach has a completely different take on all of this than you two do. I mean, everybody, that's the thing is like, it's reality TV. You can have a different take. We don't have to. We learned, Zach and I, because we're good friends, we learned on the tour that we don't agree on everything. And that's what friends are. Friends do
Sitting between that conversation was hard though.
Yeah. What?
Huh?
Oh, sitting between the conversation?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, friends talk, they argue, they hash it out, they come back together, they go on vacations, they do
but
tours together. Like it's okay. You can.
the stakes aren't that high.
The stakes are not that high. I am not that invested in Lisa Rinna and Kathy Hilton's situation. Lisa Rinna is out here and she's going to continue to peddle Rinna Beauty and try to turn her daughters into the next Gigi and Bella. It's not happening. And then we have Kathy Hilton, who's just going to be rich once this show's over. She's still going to have her life and her very famous daughters. And it is what it is. I'm not that worried about it. I honestly, as an honorary Hilton, just want to know if I'm a part of the inheritance. That's all. Okay.
You're not. I can just tell you, that's also but before that, what was I going to say? Follow, subscribe, go on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeart, TuneIn, Stitcher, wherever you listen to your podcast. Our podcast launches tomorrow. And then next Tuesday, we do a great podcast talking about the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills with Ryan Bailey from So Bad It's Good with Ryan Bailey. It's a fantastic conversation. We talk about this. We talk about casting and everything, but completely free to go ahead and subscribe, follow, and rate us if you'd like.
I don't know if I'm 29. I'm not, so young anymore. So I don't know.
You're almost 30.
Shut up. I don't know what the young kids say, but I think they say it's a flex or something. But I had to, because Ebony Dix just said, you need to get to Salt Lake City, you motherfuckers. And I'm like, okay, Ebony, we will get to Salt Lake City. We're going there right now. I just want to say really quick, I looked at the charts this morning and yesterday. Hot Messy Podcast, because of the Addams family and this amazing supportive community that we have. Again, if you have something and you want us to promote it, I'll promote it. It's not, I don't need you to pay me to promote what you have.
I mean, listen, this Addams family, this whole YouTube channel has helped us out so much to create such an amazing community, and to be able to launch a show like this and have that support is incredible.
Top 40, almost 200 reviews. Yeah, you guys fucking rock. So with that, let's get into Salt Lake City before somebody rips our head off, because we have some things to talk about.
Oh my gosh. Salt Lake City. Opening. While we do that, I'm going to go ahead and timestamp this so people can go to Salt Lake City if they want Salt Lake City and they don't have to listen to us babble so much. But
all right, so Jason and I saw the premiere, which we told you guys about. We watched it again last night, but we saw it before it came out. And I think what happened in this season, this season's going to be wild. The dynamics have completely changed, which almost is what we're asking for on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, right? Because we need to break up the monotony in the Fox Faux 4. It doesn't break up. So then the dynamics are always just, we know how this is going to play out. On Salt Lake City, it's completely different. We never thought Meredith and Jen Shah would get back together. We never thought that Lisa Barlow would be sitting down with Heather Gay. And Heather Gay and Whitney go through a friendship break this season that has not been mentioned yet. So when we get into this episode, we have allegations coming out all over the place. We see where Jen Shah...
Can I just say really quick before we get started? This season is going to be fire.
So good.
It's going to be so good. And this is the season, kind of like with Potomac too. It took 2 or 3 seasons to really get into. We know the ladies. This cast, just these 5 ladies by themselves are enough for right now. And I thought I would miss Mary, but I've already forgotten about Mary. I liked Mary, but I think this show, especially with the friends they're adding, is going to be so good this season. I cannot wait to watch the entire season.
Well, I heard a rumor that Mary would be coming back next season, and then I talked to one of the cast members, and she said no. Yeah, so no. All right. So with Meredith and Jen sitting down, the thing is, we didn't get to see how Meredith and Jen came back together. That's the part that I think is a little frustrating. What people don't know is that when everything happened with Jenny Nguyen, when all of the posts surfaced or whatever the case was, Bravo was still trying to figure out, are they going to be able to keep her? Can they fix this? Can they do damage control, or do they need to fire her? And of course, all of the backlash, she got herself canceled, right? So when they were trying to figure this out, in the meantime, they had Meredith and Jen go film with Jenny Nguyen at her house, and they were there for 5 hours, literally 5 or 6 hours. And they were filming, and they were going round and round in circles, and they were asking her to take accountability for her actions. Did you say that? Did you mean what you said? Do you have a social media manager? Were you the one who put that up there? Or did someone else put that up there? What do you have to say for yourself? Finally, Jenny Nguyen, allegedly, from what I heard, admitted that she did post those things and she didn't realize that they would be harmful, whatever the case was, right? But in that 5-hour conversation that was filmed, that's where Meredith and Jen actually ended up coming back together as friends because of that. But we didn't get the context of that because I don't think Bravo wanted to rehash the Ginny Wynn stuff. So for those of you who this didn't make sense for, that's exactly what happened. I want to bring this up really quick. TT Doll, thank you so much. Hello, guys. Love you so much. Sorry, I just joined.
Hey.
Hope y'all are safe from Ian. We are safe. Thank you.
Thank you.
So now we have them sitting down, and there's obviously a clear divide because Lisa Barlow went on that rant, right? And I'm going to be very careful here because I know that the Salt Lake City women are watching.
Well, and I want to say this too. This is a cast that I like all 5 women. Like, I love these ladies. So I'm ready for this. It's not often, you know, at the beginning, I think season 1, when we were recapping it, I had some opinions. I wasn't really, I was more excited for the show because it's in Salt Lake. I was raised around, I was raised Mormon, but we had all our family reunions and crap in Salt Lake. And it's such a unique and crazy city to have a Real Housewives show. Right. So I was so excited about it. And now we're at the place we're supposed to be. And it's just dynamic. I think it's going to be fun. And I'm not saying that just because, you know, we know pretty much all of these ladies, but it's a good show.
I thought season 3 was going to be a snooze fest, and it's not. But no. I do want to say now, since Lisa Barlow went on that rant, which was a very uncomfortable rant for everyone to watch, well, now the women are like, okay, well, if you're going to call me a garbage WHORE, which I don't want to say on here because the algorithm, say that I screwed half of New York, said that my family's phony and fake as F, said, you know, my husband has to change jobs all the time, and that's why I can't afford a house, or whatever the case is. She said all of those things. So I can see where Meredith in her mind is like, listen, if you're going to put all of this out there about me, yeah, I've heard some things about you. I've heard some cheating rumors. I've heard, and it's the same thing. Nobody's offering receipts. So I can see why this would be put out there. What is this?
This is a receipt that Meredith posted about the SEC and the filings from Vita Tequila. It's a public document. But last time I watched What Happens Live, Lisa Barlow said this was a different company because Meredith was talking to Seth about how her company is not doing well, Vita Tequila, but she said this was a different company, something different. So it would be interesting to look into these papers a little bit. However, last night, even Whitney defended Lisa a little bit on Watch What Happens Live, saying that when Lisa went off, she thought she was completely alone and not mic'd, and she was done for the night. But then Meredith also posted this photo of, you know, of course, the producer in the room. Like, we remember this photo? Remember talking about this and seeing the producer in the mirror?
That's the thing. Is
it
like,
looks bad.
It does look really bad. And, you know, Lisa Barlow ends up meeting up with Heather Gay, and she has a conversation. And Heather Gay, I thought, did a fantastic job in this situation. Lisa was like, you know, I need your help with Meredith. I need your help getting back to a good place. And she's like, well, you need to eat humble pie. And she's like, I know, but I didn't mean what I said. And she's like, no, stop. You need to apologize. You need to know that this is going to loom over your friendship. If you have one, if it's salvageable, it's going to loom over your friendship forever. And you need to just own the fact that you said this shit. And Lisa looked at Heather and she's like, you don't really, you know, think that I believe the words that came out of my mouth. Like, I feel that way. And Heather's like, actually, I think you do. Like, oh, yeah, shit.
Because you were drinking that night. It was out of frustration and you just spilled the beans. That's what you did. There was no, you know, like, if I get mad at my friend, I'm not going to be like, you know, this slut who slept with everyone in New York, this garbage family who poses. Like, no, that is not something you really feel that way. I believe Lisa Barlow really feels that way.
I wonder if it's like, if there is some sort of, like, there has to be, that's the thing, is like, now Lisa Barlow, and we're kind of jumping around a little bit. She's going to, because in this episode, we get Jen Shah, who is throwing a birthday party at her friend's house. That's how we get introduced into the new cast member, Angie K. Angie K has been friends with the entire cast for a long time. She even went to high school with Heather, and she went to college with Jen. But she is throwing this birthday party, and Lisa Barlow's like dreading going into it because she knows this is the first time I'm going to see Meredith. Now, Meredith made a couple great points. She said, I haven't heard from her in 2.5 months. If she really wanted to talk to me and she was really sorry, why would she not reach out and have a conversation, or text my kids and say I'm sorry, or text my husband, or text me? Why does it have to be
filming?
Because you weren't filming. Right. Which I actually appreciate Lisa Barlow holding it for filming, because then it gives us like the awkward kind of, we get to see how it plays out and it makes
Sure.
sense.
Yeah.
Because Jen and Meredith, us not seeing the conversation with Jenny Wynn, people are left very confused on how did this dynamic come back together, and they think it's phony and fake, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Which it's not. It makes sense. We just didn't get the context behind it. And for Lisa Barlow, she says hi to Meredith, says, I feel like we need to have a conversation, but not here. And then she turns around and has that conversation with Seth. When she's telling Seth, I'm sorry, I didn't mean any of those things. I didn't mean to say that. I thought Seth did a really great job of sort of just holding her accountable in that moment, saying, Lisa, I wouldn't say anything half as bad about this, or half as bad as this about any of my friends. Like I would never think those things, let alone say them out there, on national television. You have some explaining to do to Meredith. You guys need to have a conversation.
Yeah, I agree. 100%.
And they were pretty much saying that they're not buying crocodile tears.
This is gonna be carrying on, I think, for most of the season.
Yeah. I mean, this is gonna be a bad situation. But hold on, let me go ahead and bring up. Oh, we couldn't find any good Jen Shaw photos, guys. So we did get the party, and we had also, I wanted to talk about this for a second. We had Heather Gay go over to Whitney's house, right?
Mm-hmm.
Go over to Whitney's house, and Whitney's making a big move. She's going on her computer and she's printing out this document that's quitmormon.org or .com, and she is taking herself out of the Mormon church. She doesn't want her name there because she said that they will continue to knock on her door, expect certain things of her, expect her to live a certain lifestyle, expect money from her. And she went down this whole list. Heather, who has wrote a whole book about being a bad Mormon and has talked about the Mormon church and how she doesn't agree with things, but letting her kids make their own decisions. We learned last night that Heather has not taken her name out of the Mormon church because she thinks that will be the straw that breaks the camel's back, or the toe that breaks the camel's back, thanks to Kathy Hilton, the straw that breaks the camel's back, and she will never be able to come back from that with her family. So she said, wow, Whitney, this is a big deal. You said that some of these things that Whitney said and Heather said are not true. What?
Oh, what Whitney was saying?
Yeah.
Listen, it does follow you around. I'm not excommunicated from the Mormon church. I never asked to be, and no one ever told me I was, nothing like that. I have not been followed around. When you do move and you go to, like, say you were moving from Virginia to, I don't know, New Mexico. If you don't register with your new church, like, they don't really know if you've kind of moved or not. I mean, unless, like, you can really go ghost if you want to. So I think this is kind of more of a TV stunt. I don't know. Her husband is excommunicated. So yeah, I do think that if you want to join him in that, you really want nothing to do with the church at all ever again. But listen, no one's coming to ask me for money at my door, and no one's asking for tithing. No one's asking. You don't have to do those things. So this is a big move. It's a really big move, because I can attest being raised Mormon, and I've met my best friends from church. None of us are part of the church now, but I've met my best friends in church. I had a great upbringing. I had a great experience with the church, which crazy to say. But I also didn't grow up in Utah,
Right.
But where am I going with this?
I don't know. Mike, I just
feel like it's a big deal because it's part of your identity. So I understand Heather's struggle in this, but I also understand Whitney being like, I don't want this to identify me anymore. I want to be who I want to be. And maybe it's just a thing in her. If I end this, then mentally I will be free. I'll be able to do this. Now, Heather did have some concern because, she said it's like a ledger of God. Like, if you're taking yourself off that ledger, and then when you go to heaven, like, because the Mormons don't believe in hell, it's the outer darkness. And she did mention the outer darkness on last night's episode. However, only like sons of perdition go to the outer darkness. I think there's like 7. So no, Whitney will still be okay in the end. And in her heavenly journey of Mormonism.
Mike, I love seeing Lisa Barlow squirm through a genuine apology. Thank you, Mike. Oof. And TT Doll said, not a huge Lisa Barlow fan. That's the thing, is I'm
a fan of all of them.
From. I did like seeing, I like seeing only because, and I get a lot of shit for this. I got a lot of shit for the Kelly Dodd, Rick Leventhal interview. I got a lot of shit for the like meeting up with Jen Shaw. But in our meetup with Jen and Coach, I got to see them together for hours. And I got to see how they operate around each other, how they treat each other. I got to see how she treats her family. And there's such a big love in that family. Like you can tell, you know what I mean? They're so very close and supportive of each other. And it's just like last night, it's so hard to think about anybody. Like I'm not thinking about what went on in court. And I understand, you know, there were victims of telemarketing crimes and stuff like that. I'm not really thinking about that. I'm thinking about, which I do think about that, but I'm thinking about her kids and her kids not knowing about any of that, but then now just finding out that their mom is going to jail. You know what I mean? Like, I'm thinking about the kids from that perspective. Cause I had a friend whose mom was arrested when we were in 6th grade, and she ended up going to prison for 4 years, and her whole life got turned upside down, and she had to go live with her grandma that she didn't even know. And I remember she was just like, it changed her life. It was so devastating for her. And she actually took a different path. She was like a straight A student. She just became like wild. And she was like, I don't, you know, if this is how I'm going to get treated in life and I'm going to get dealt this card, then I'm going to live this card. It was just sad. So I'm thinking about her kids, and, you know, it is what it is.
I mean, listen too, this is a different, I mean, it's, you know, there are victims, and this is a very different thing than, like, let's say Erica Girardi and Tom Girardi. There are many victims. There are many people involved in this situation too. And it's crazy to just see how this all unfolded, you know, and to really think, you know, I know there's like a little more to the story that I would like to know about this, you know, just to believe your innocence like this.
Yeah.
There's something else that is just missing, you know?
Well, I'm sure, again, everything will continue to play out and we'll figure that out. But in the meantime, I thought it was okay. We met Angie K. She's the new cast member. She's not a snowflake holder. She is a friend of the show. So obviously she didn't bring it enough to become full-time. We get Angie Harrington back this season, who we know from last season, the whole charity debacle. And then on top of that, we get this new woman, Dana. We didn't see Dana this episode. I am curious to see how she gets introduced. This looks like it's going to be a wild season, and I can already see the dynamics are, it's so clear as day. We have Meredith, Jen Shaw, Heather Gay, Lisa Barlow, Whitney Rose, and the two friends of. Like, that's the dynamic.
Thought? What is this? What are these teams? Who would have thought?
This is such a mix-up. Salt Lake City broke up the monotony. It's not like the Fox
100%.
4. Like, it changes every season. You know?
I mean, that's why I like the show. I'm excited for the show. I think we're going to see a more tame Jen Shaw, though, this season.
Right.
You know, especially with things, because this was before her trial, you know, but everything you do on TV can be used against you in the court of public opinion and the court of law. So it's just, I think we're going to see a more tame Jen this season.
We'll see. I think that I know for a fact, based off of the trailer and seeing some of the teasers, that the two newbies, Angie was good friends. Obviously, she's throwing a party for Jen's husband. She was good friends with Jen. Something changes that dynamic. I'm not sure what that was. And then for Dana, it just comes off so orchestrated, which I don't like already, where she's like, you better be nice to me if you want me to put some money in your commissary. Or something like that. It's like, you're doing right now.
You're doing the most as a friend, trying to get a significant spot or a permanent spot on the show. You're trying to hold the snowflake, but your blizzard is too much for Salt Lake City, girl. I am so excited to meet more of the newbies and see how the dynamics kind of shift and change.
Right.
It should be really interesting.
I already heard that producers already decided that Dana's not coming back next season. So that goes to show.
That wouldn't surprise me from other things I've heard about her as well. But is there a picture? I know there weren't many pictures, and we were a little late for this. Anyway, did you see the party last night? This is Salt Lake City. Did you see the view? Did you see the dress? Did you see the show up? This is what I'm talking about, Beverly Hills. Every opportunity you have to do a product launch or a big party or something like amazing, it's a picnic in Sutton's backyard. It's a rooftop for Rena's non-product product launch. It's a hair space. You know what I mean? But Salt Lake City can do it.
Yeah.
I was impressed.
I was impressed. I thought it was good.
Yeah. It was really,
I think Angie K threw a good party.
Is Angie K going to go against the ladies, do you think?
Yeah, she's going against Jen, Meredith, Heather.
What a way to start a season, though.
I think that's stupid.
I'm hosting your party. Now I'm going to turn against you.
Right, but I think that's a silly way to navigate it because I don't understand. I think that Lisa Barlow and Whitney thought that the two friends of would become full-time cast members so they could just sort of link themselves to them and have new dynamics. But really, like if I were coming onto a show, and that's what I was going to say too, is with Dana attacking Jen at the finale party and trying to have a moment and get in her face and just try to get her to react. It just gives me vibes like Noella Bergner tried to get Heather Dubrow to react. You got fired. You know, there were other women, those twins who tried to get Teresa Giudice on the Real Housewives of New Jersey to react and clink, clink. And like you try so hard because, you know, everyone's talking about this cast member that now as Bravo fans, we've seen it for so long that it's just so obviously orchestrated. You're boring.
Yeah.
That's like, come in and be interesting and you'll stick around. But if you come
That's
in,
the thing. You come in with, if you come in with a preconceived notion of like, I need to do this. I need to go against this person because of what currently is happening. I need to, you know, agree with the fan. Like you said, it's a straight Noella thing, like one and done, bye, thanks. We don't need that. I mean, you know, come in, be interesting, be unique, fit within the group, have some chemistry with the ladies. We would be more, I think, able to adapt to someone like that than someone who's just going to come in and push and shove.
Well, and they don't start picking up filming for next season until the end of this year. But again, I heard that Angie K would be coming back. I heard that Dana would be fired. And I heard that Angie Harrington would also be coming back and they're going to add 2 more. I don't know if Jen's going to be filming or not. But with that, Jason, did we miss anything?
I don't think so. I'm sorry.
Oh,
what dogs are going crazy in here?
Oh, okay. All right.
No, I don't think so. I'm excited for next episode. I'm excited to see the dynamics and see where like things are going to take us in Salt Lake. And yeah, it should be interesting.
Okay. Forgive me, Adam, for being messy, but still wondering what happened with Kelly. Susan, you
I don't really
DM me. I don't know what you're talking about. Will y'all shout out to my sixth son? His skin is on his
oh, I'm sorry.
TT doll, yes, we will give a shout out. Thank you guys for everyone. By the way, again, anyone who is impacted by Hurricane Ian, we're sending all the love and positivity towards you. I'm trying to think if there's something that we can do. So Jason and I will think on that. We have a lot going on right now, but you're never too busy to help out when people need you to. Again, I wanted to say thank you so much to Belkey for her amazing company, Spanglish Asadero, and sending us all of these incredible spices. Even though I can't cook, I can't wait to learn how to cook. Thank you to everyone for the super chats, super stickers. Thank you for understanding that right now I'm wearing glasses because I don't want to show my face. And I will explain why on the podcast that is dropping tomorrow. So there's a lot to celebrate. Hot Messy Podcast drops tomorrow. We're already in the top 40. Go to YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to Hot Messy Podcast on YouTube. But more importantly, go to the description of this video. Do us a solid. Get ready. Tomorrow is the first episode. Give us a 5-star rating. It's free. Listen to the episode. Tell us what you think. Honestly, we want your honest feedback. And more importantly, if you have topics you want us to discuss, go to info@hotmessypodcast.com. Email us. Give us your opinions. Give us some topics. You let us know. We want to do this for you guys. So
100%. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Anything?
Nope.
All right. All right, guys. Well, it's time. Next time we see you, we're going to be talking about what you guys think. And don't forget that on Monday, we have our next members only live. Let's whine about it. That will be this upcoming Monday. We have some of our favorite, they're like family now. Subscribers, Maray's coming in town. I can't wait.
When we go live on Monday, by the way, if you guys want to see something fun, we have a long day on Monday, just FYI. Okay. So when we get to that live, I think we're going to be a little whined already. So it should be fun. Definitely.
Oh God. I might cancel the live.
Bye, guys. Have a great
All right.
weekend.